I'll just explain this in a way that I heard somebody explain it
Yeah.
at the student journalism conference. And it might have been Derek Fildebrandt, but it might have been Andrew Lawton, but two really smart guys who really understand this issue.
Mhm.
And they said, this is like making the paper boy pay the newspaper company for the privilege of giving you the newspaper.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah. That's exactly.
in this scenario, Facebook is the delivery device. They are the paper boy.
Yeah.
It's their job to give you the news, and the newspaper distributor should actually be paying the paper boy, not the other way around, but because they get to sell ads. And this is a system that was working pretty good, albeit creepy, because you would talk and then all of a sudden you'd get this ad on Facebook for something you just talked about, which is kind of weird. But it was a system that wasn't broken. But because it didn't allow Justin Trudeau to control the internet, but also to shake down social media companies so that they would then be providing an additional bailout to Justin Trudeau's enablers in the mainstream media. Now we've got this broken system. And instead of Justin Trudeau recognizing that he broke something that didn't need fixing, he's blaming Meta and so Facebook, Instagram for something that he did. And he thinks people are stupid enough not to see it. Like, what's the one thing that changed? Could it have been Justin Trudeau's C-18? Maybe.
Yeah. Well, and this literally is like it's the newspaper boy giving a nickel to the major news corporations every time he delivers a newspaper, and the math probably works out similarly to 1930s paperboy pricing. But the wild thing here is this is another in the latest trend of Justin Trudeau saying exactly, like, accusing people it's the propaganda 101 of exactly what he's doing. So putting profits ahead of safety. Well, Justin Trudeau is the one that says you need to pay my propaganda wings in order to link to their news. He's literally the one who has put profit ahead of safety. Now, Facebook and Meta, they operate globally, and when a local law pops up that they can't comply with, it's happened in lots of other countries before. They're not going to bring in a new payment strategy to give millions of dollars to Canadian media at a loss to them. They're not going to do that. So like, okay, we're just going to turn off the news, I guess, because we're not going to be paying you in order for you guys to share via our social media networks. Sharing is how we make our money, actually. It's completely backwards for social media. So Justin Trudeau, in fact, is saying, I want money for my people, and if you're not going to do it, we're going to make it illegal for you to operate here. So completely backwards. He's effectively accusing them of exactly what he himself is doing. And we can read a little bit of the article here. Prime Minister Justin Trudeau on Monday.
Let's just hang on. Sorry, let's just hang on for a second. It's not just Justin Trudeau putting control of the internet over people's safety. You know who's actually putting profit over safety? The news companies. They should be saying to Justin Trudeau, we don't need the shakedown. We need to be making sure that people have access to reliable information where they want to consume it as quickly as possible during these wildfires. So please, we don't need the money from Facebook. These people need the information. So it is also the beneficiaries of the shakedown who are putting profit over people right now.
Yeah, 100%. And again, are they being mentioned or accused? No. It's all big, bad Meta. You know, how far do you have to sink for, like, Zuck to be the good guy, relatively speaking, in a situation?
Why am I cheering for Facebook right now? Like, I normally cheer for the demise of big tech. Like, Google, goodbye. Facebook, who cares? Instagram, But I'm on their side right now because Justin Trudeau is that bad. Like, what happened to me?
Yeah. And I think that does matter for folks out there, like the whole, there's article after article, and it's so creepy lately how just homogenized the responses. Like, it was the Pierre Poilievre courting the alt-right. Everyone and their dog in the media said that. Now it's Meta being greedy. The whole thing here, they couldn't care less about the people affected by the fires. The whole push right now is a sort of strategic marketing campaign to make Meta look bad so that they cave and start paying these bailout media outlets. That's what this is all about. The pressure push here. Justin Trudeau doesn't care about getting the information out. He could literally right now announce we're scrapping C-18. Please just turn the news back on. We need this. He could do that right now. And
Yeah.
of course they would. They want clicks. They want access. Like, it's not benefiting Meta to do this. Our own Instagrams, we have to operate VPN, which, by the way, I encourage you
Yeah.
to use Pia VPN, the best VPN. And we have a great deal for you. I'm sure we'll have an ad with details for that. But we have to use that in order to access our own content. Engagement on some of those platforms that people without VPNs can't access is obviously down. This doesn't benefit Meta. It doesn't benefit Facebook or Instagram, but it does give a push for this federal government C-18 and for these people to start collecting these news agencies, as you rightly pointed out, who are part of this shakedown, to start collecting by trying to make Meta look bad. So yeah, it's something else, but we've effectively covered it, but I'll read a little bit here and then we can move on. Prime Minister Justin Trudeau on Monday criticized Meta for blocking domestic news from its platform, saying the Facebook parent company was prioritizing profit over safety as devastating wildfires forced tens of thousands to evacuate their home. Trudeau's comments represent the latest government attack on Meta, which this month started blocking news on its Facebook and Instagram platforms for all users in Canada in response to new laws, there it is finally, requiring internet giants to pay for news articles. Internet giants, yeah. That's something else. So disconnected. Even the sort of the way that the article is written is clearly from a certain perspective, not the media giants who are getting billions in bailouts, but certainly the internet giants are the villain in this situation. The other thing too is there was no concern over apparently only emergency circumstances you need free access to media. When Justin Trudeau was involved in scandal after scandal, not that most of these outlets would report on it, but there's been no complaint about the censorship of information. I mean, there's a question of free speech here when news can't be accessed by the mechanisms that people tend to access news. But none of that is up for discussion here. It's just meta bad.
Well, and let's I know we sort of I don't want to beat this story to death because we have a lot of things to talk about, but the Friends of Canadian Broadcasting have decided. I just went to their website. Friends of Canadian Broadcasting, which is, I believe, a bit of a CBC friend group, like really. They are proposing that people go dark to boycott Meta and support Canadian news on the 23rd. What is that, tomorrow? 23rd? So if you go to their
Instagram
page,
so much.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. I don't know how I'm supposed to feel about this. So a bunch of hippies and subsidy janglers are not going to be polluting my Instagram feed with their nonsense. How am I supposed to feel about this? I'm cheering for this. I hope they never stop self-censoring to support government intervention into the media. Like, what's wrong with these people? They have a big pop-up that says like "Go Dark 2023-08-23," and I'm supposed to care. I don't. Thank you for not posting on Instagram. You'll sure show them.
Yeah, and the next article, we're going to talk about this a little bit more, but we will move on. The boycott is coming up in a little bit here, but I guess we kind of covered that. It is interesting here, though. BC Premier David Eby once again called out the technology company for its ban on Canadian media organization and its platform during the BC wildfires. So even I don't know if these people, like these politicians, believe this or if they're all complicit. But I mean, it's in direct response to a Canadian law. There was a law passed. If Facebook and Instagram don't comply with the law, they'd be operating effectively illegally. So the only thing they can do is ban the access here. Those are the two options. They're like, we're not paying you for every link to a news article, so I guess we can't operate. Everyone is complicit in this rhetoric, whether it be this group calling for an Instagram boycott, and that was on the 23rd, Facebook Instagram boycott 23rd and 24th, or these premiers saying, oh, Meta is responsible for this. Trudeau can literally say, C-18, due to the nature of the emergency, I'm stripping this. No one is calling for that or asking that or looking at the facts. Everyone is just feeding into this rhetoric. And during these fires, it's wild. I know with the Northwest Territories, there was 4 individuals apprehended for arson. There's almost no reporting on that. During this, the Canadian government is effectively banning Facebook and Instagram from sharing news, and everyone is blaming first it was climate change. Now for this, everyone is blaming Meta. It's never Justin Trudeau. It's never our government. It's never the people who are actually responsible for these things. It's always these abstract monsters that we can't really do anything about, but we have to collect more taxes to deal with.
Well, and you know who did a really good job of threading the needle on this, and they put her on, and I think she might even be a liberal, is the Yellowknife Mayor, Rebecca Alty, I think it's her name. And she was on, because her city's under evacuation. Over half of the territories is like under evacuation. Alberta is absorbing them. And it was a global news reporter who put her on the spot and said, like, oh, Facebook and Meta, or Facebook and Instagram, so Meta, they're blocking access to Canadian news. How is that affecting your ability to disseminate information to evacuees? And she said, basically, this is in response to a change in legislation. So they tried to make her like pin it all on Facebook, but she stopped and said, yes, this is what they're doing in response to the change in legislation. So Justin Trudeau changed the legislation. And, you know, that's pretty, I think it was a pretty savvy response on live TV when, you know, you're talking about how you're evacuating 20,000 people and basically relocating them to another province in a moment's notice. And, you know, Global News is making sure that they really pin the crime on the real criminal here, Zuckerberg.